All right, it's Monday, November 23rd, and I just got out of my BABA trade. You can see here on the daily of BABA where my entry and exit was. So I entered Friday at the close, and I just got out this morning around 7 in the pre-market. The daily for this morning still not up, so I'll show you guys the minute chart. Here we go. So you can see that my entry was pretty much Friday's close. I got in around 70 or 70, 80, around there, 270.8. And then my exit was around pretty much, I got out at different areas around 75 and above 74. So in that range, 75, 74. So roughly, I did the math, I covered about 1.33%. Not too bad. I got here out around 7. And I mean, I was just looking to cover profit. I was up about 1.5% or so, so I didn't want to risk it. And I mean, I could have held a little longer, but then look at this. Now it would almost be negative on my trade. So who knows when the right spot is to sell in the pre-market. That's why I just take it when I can get it. So here I got the indexes, Dow Jones, S&P, and NASDAQ, and then BABA here. So I'm looking at the Friday daily, and you can see that all indexes were closing lower, which made me feel a little uncomfortable about going heavy over the weekend. And then what I looked at also, which is important to look at over the weekend or on Fridays, I mean, is the weekly, seeing how the week is closing and how the next week is looking to open. And you can see that on the weekly of all these indexes, everything except for the NASDAQ was closing lower. NASDAQ did slightly close higher, but if anything, you could really call that a doji. So it wasn't looking too promising for this Monday, which made me a little nervous. And then with all the new cases spiking on COVID, that also made me a little nervous. So why did I even decide to go in on BABA at all? Well, looking at just BABA here, there's a lot to like. First of all, if you look at the daily on BABA, or sorry, the weekly on BABA, you can see that typically when BABA closes on a green week like it did last week, it tends to gap up higher. And I like the chances on this because every time it fails, it only fails by a little bit, less than 1%. So risk to reward looks really good. And then looking back at just the daily here, I mean, it's been selling off really hard, and now it's showing a sharp turnaround. So I really like this setup for a turnaround because the first green day it held, so it looks like the second green day it should hold. But a lot of other things to consider, like this gang angle I have. And this gang angle is this large macro level indicator I use that really shows a strong trend on BABA. And you can see this gang angle right here showing resistance. And you can see both the weekly showing a little bit of resistance there and the daily showing a little bit of resistance there. So that's another thing that made me a little cautious about going heavy on this stock over the weekend. So I under leveraged my BABA trade. Wasn't a bad trade anyways. You can see I got out between 75 and 74 and I covered about $1,000. So not too bad considering I was very under leveraged this morning and I wasn't feeling too confident about the market, but ended up working out for me anyways. All right, lastly, I just want to show you guys my watch list that I use for swing trading. And you can see that this watch list includes mostly high market blue chip stocks. Stocks that aren't very risky, stocks that aren't considered penny stocks for pretty much high volatility stocks. So I'm not putting in a lot of risk every time I go in overnight. I'm just looking for these couple percentages that make me great profit each day. And again, you can see on my chart, nothing looked good for Friday except for maybe BABA and Netflix or Spotify. So you can see another reason of why, just looking at the overall market, why I didn't look to go too heavy over the weekend. So I'm happy how this Monday went, and I'll keep you guys posted out this week. Just keep following and subscribe below.